Hi everyone, I have been tagged by Abby from Autumn of Pellinor to do the rapid fire book tag. I did do this like donkeys ago now, but I thought it'd be a fun one to redo to see if anything's changed or if I'm just stubborn and have my own set ways. I will leave you links to Abby's channel, particularly the video down below, and she's also got the original tag link in her description box, so please go and check both of those out. So, question 1. Ebook or physical book? For me, personally, it has to be a physical book. I have tried reading on a Kindle and various other devices for quite some time now, and I just can't manage it. For me, it does hurt my eyes quite badly reading off a screen. Even if it's off the main computer, I still have to move away. It's too much. But also there's something about having a physical reminder around the house that I have this book to read. There's a book sat there with a bookmark in it, and it's following me around the house because I keep putting it down every time I read it. Whereas if it's on a Kindle, I don't pay attention to that. That's, there's not a reminder for me that I have this book to read. So there we go. Paperback or hardback? Paperback, I think, because it's just easier to hold and lighter and slightly cheaper, and not so much these days, but there are some gorgeous hardbacks, so I think it does depend on the actual book itself. Online or in-store book shopping? I'm bad. I do use a certain giant retailer to get hold of quite a few books, but that's generally because I can't get them in my local bookshop. However, I was given some money to spend and trying to browse online for books that I might have wanted to pick up was so hard. Nothing is going to beat walking into a bookshop and seeing all the books, picking them up, feeling what the covers are like, because some are sticky, some are smooth, some have embossing on them. Being able to flip over the book and read the synopsis, start the opening chapter, see what you think of it, look for recommendations within the store, ask a shop member, what do you think I should try? I like this, what do you suggest? You don't get any of that online, so I'm sorry, as convenient and as cheap as online is, it will never beat walking into a bookshop. Trilogies or series? If it's a good story that deserves to be told over many books, then that's fine. If it's a book that's been stretched out to fill a trilogy for the sake of it, not interested. I would say some books, I'm so grateful there's a series. The Redwall books, I've got loads of them to read. The Discworld series, there's loads, but they're all different. Whereas a trilogy, you can find yourself wanting a lot more. Heroes or villains? Depends on the character, to be honest. If a hero's a hero, but I don't like their personality at all, then I'm not going to like them. Same with the villain. If they're just evil for the sake of being evil, then that's pretty pathetic. But if you've got reasons for doing all these bad things that actually make logical sense, i.e. Thanos in Infinity War, you understand where he's coming from. Don't agree with his methods, but you understand completely. So I think it does depend on more the character rather than their plot device in the book. A book I want everyone to read. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers. I don't think enough people are picking this book up. I don't see it enough on BookTube. This is a lovely, hopeful sci-fi story that focuses on characters from a diverse group. And we're not just talking humans here either. It's so well written, it's really enjoyable, and I want more people to know about this book. There's also more following in the series. Close and Comet Orbit, and Record of a Spaceborne Few comes out a couple of weeks' time. The last book I finished was The Fifth Season by N.K. Jemisin, which is a big sci-fi epic, but it's told extremely cleverly, and I need to do a review on it. The last book I bought, technically, I suppose it's these three, which I got with some vouchers I was given for my birthday. Weirdest thing I've used as a bookmark. Used books, yes or no? Yep, I'm happy. These are ex-library books here. I've got ex-library books down here. and various second-hand books all over the place actually. So yeah, I'm happy. Particularly as some covers of second-hand books are prettier than the republished covers. Top 3 favourite genres. Historical fiction, science fiction, and I'm going to go with fantasy, and there's a whole pile up there. Borrow or buy. I will borrow books. I'm an avid user of my local libraries, so yeah, I borrow, but I do like buying books. There's something really satisfying about buying a book. Long or short books? Depends on the story. I love long books, but I also love short books. I've got Every Heart a Doorway is up there, and it's, you know, a beautifully told tale, and it's just the right length. Long or short chapters? I have to admit, I think short chapters are easier to get through because it's only a couple of pages and you've got a break, and I find that I read those kind of books a lot quicker than books with really long chapters. But if it's a long chapter that has breaks within it, then I'm okay, because I'll read to a break and I'll stop. And then when you get to the next chapter, you realise, oh, I've just read 20, 30 pages. So I think it depends on the flow of the story for me more than anything else. Name the first 3 books you think of. So Outlander by Diana Gabaldon, Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers, and Just One Damn Thing After Another by Jodie Taylor. You notice they're all behind me. Books that make you laugh or cry. If a book makes me feel something, then that's great. The 5th Season and Dread Nation have both made me feel really angry, frustrated and upset. And The Rest is History, which I read earlier this year, which is this one in the series, made me cry quite a few times throughout the book. I was an absolute mess. Very rare does a book actually make me laugh out loud, and I might snort a little bit, but I don't think I've actually laughed out loud at a book. So probably books that make me cry then. Our world or fictional worlds? That's a toughie. In our world, I've got my family. But in fictional worlds, there are so many opportunities to do amazing things. You know, like magic and amazing creatures and dragons. And in fictional worlds, evil always seems to be overcome, whereas in the real world, we can't seem to do that. So I might have to say fictional worlds. Audiobooks, yes or no? I do like audiobooks, but it does depend on who's reading it. I did try to listen to Outlander as an audiobook and just couldn't get the hang of it. I just didn't enjoy it. Whereas I came across a copy of Treasure Island and loved it. It worked perfectly for me. I think I'm more of a dramatised audiobook though, like the BBC versions of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Sherlock Holmes, most of the Austins they've done Poirot's, and they're all really good. I prefer to have a little bit of variety in my readers rather than just one tone. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? Oh, come on, who doesn't? I think you'd be lying if you said you didn't judge a book by its cover, because we've all gone to some book and gone, yikes, who thought that was a good choice? Or, oh my gosh, it's a terrible cover, it's boring, it tells me nothing about the story. Or, oh my goodness, that's a beautiful cover. Yeah, and I have to say I am a sucker for a pretty cover, and I do like my covers to match, particularly if it's a series. I like them all to remain in the same theme, which why it really bugs me that my Outlander books in the UK, we were given these gorgeous landscape covers, and now they're being republished into sort of this format, and I don't know, there's just something about a really pretty cover. Book to movie or book to TV adaptations. The last couple of years I've seen some very good comic books that have been converted into films, and I think they've done a really good job of taking the essence of the character and portraying it on the big screen. Most notably, obviously, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man, Infinity War, Guardians of the Galaxy. They're the ones I'm going to say, yeah, they got the hang of how to do a comic book into a film. They did really well. And I'm really excited to see the new Spider-Verse coming out later this year that stars Miles Morales as Spider-Man. And I'm liking the style of that film. So it's remaining true to its comic book origins, but also I think it's going to be really good film-wise as well. But I would say some of the best adaptations we've had have been to TV. Prime examples would be Outlander. I think they've done a cracking job of converting some quite heavy and complex storylines into a film series that works. Yes, it doesn't follow the plot exactly right. It doesn't have every line quote for quote, but the essence of those books and the story and the characters is there on the screen. The Expanse, I would say, is also another great example of how to take complex books and turn them into good drama for the telly. They have, I would say, almost improved on what were very good books in the first place to give us a really complex, in-depth TV series that is still accessible to the casual viewer. So there you go. I think I'm all for the TV adaptations. A movie or TV show you preferred to the book? I'm going to be controversial here and say The Lord of the Rings, because I couldn't read The Lord of the Rings. I tried several times as a teenager and just couldn't get into them. And it wasn't until I saw The Fellowship of the Ring that I managed to sit down and actually blitz read all 3 books within a month, which was quite impressive for me back then. But I think the Lord of the Rings films actually made Tolkien's high-level fantasy accessible for a mainstream audience. You know, Peter Jackson made fantasy popular suddenly, which is amazing. But I think he condensed the story, he brought in all the elements that were really important, he got rid of characters that were unnecessary. I'm sorry, however much you like Tom Bombadil, he doesn't add anything to the plot, really. You know, Aragorn does the same job in the film, and it works. You know, we didn't need Glorfindel. Bring in Arwen earlier. Makes a lot more sense. And give her a better role. And certainly that's something I would think a lot of people would agree, that Tolkien wrote well about men, but not so about women. That they were almost non-existent. I mean, if it wasn't for Arwen and Eowyn, there would be no females in Lord of the Rings. And which is kind of worrying, really. And so I think the film version is just much more accessible. It takes something that's quite heavy, quite complex, and makes it into a mainstream plot. There we go. Series or standalone? Again, it depends on the story. I would say a lot of books, I want more of them. Probably short stories, like the Passenger Wayfarer series by Alexandra Blacken. I didn't enjoy those books as much as I wanted to, and I will reread them so I can have a fresh perspective on them. But I do want more short stories set within that universe. I'm interested in the world she created there, and I want more of that. Now, if I'd only been given those 2 books, which at the moment I have, I'd have been really disappointed. But the prospect of having short stories set in that universe, that's something that excites me. So I would probably say series, because most of the books I read, I want to know more. I'm not content with just one story. There we go. Rapid fire book tag. I hope that wasn't too rambling. If you want to do the rapid fire book tag, please tell me down below and I'll go and watch a video for you or read your book blog. I'm very happy to do that. You can also find my book blog and various other social media links for me in the description box down below. Goodreads, Twitter and Instagram. Come and say hi. Thank you very much for Abby for tagging me. Again, go and visit her channel. Please give her some love. And thank you very much for watching. Happy reading. Bye.